Hey everybody, welcome back to another video, and in today's video we are going to be reviewing a tutorial that I made 3 years ago, a little over 3 years ago actually, and seeing if any of the information is still relevant, is it still good, have I learned anything new in the last 3 years? So let's jump in to our Wayback Time Travel machine, and let's see where we end up. So first things first, yes, I have hair. Cool. That's, hey, it looks okay. Two, I didn't really know how to shave my beard at that point, so the mustache, I would it wouldn't connect all the way, right? So I would kind of trim it. Don't do that, by the way. Just little heads up, don't do that. I'm a sophomore in college here. I'm now graduated. Let's see, we got 183 views. Of course, I'm liking my own video. And both comments are from the people that I know, friends, not actual people that watch the channel. So let's see what information I have to say. I'm talking about when you need to peek.
Welcome back, everybody, and as you can see, I'm in a different place. I'm in my new apartment.
Also, I'm not talking that fast. I put it on 1.5 speed because I don't really want to sit through all this for 8 minutes, 9 minutes, and I'm sure you guys don't either. So just little letting you guys know.
College. Well, I had the summer off, so videos are going to slow down a bit, probably one every other day, maybe. We'll see. I'll try. But today, we're going to be talking about knowing when to peek, and this is going to be specifically as a CT. So if you're like a cat player, this really applies to any position on the map.
You can tell I didn't really think about what I was going to say during the video. I didn't come in with a plan of I'm going to do this, then I'm going to do that, then I'm going to do... I just kind of winged it. And that's common for most of my videos, but I guess over the years I got better at somewhat winging it because this is convoluted. It's been 30 seconds. I don't know what's going on. I'm talking quiet in the video as well because I just moved into the new apartment. First time living with the 3 other roommates I had. I didn't really want to expose myself as a shitty Counter-Strike YouTuber at the time, so I'm trying to be quiet, paper-thin walls. Don't want them to know that I'm just in my room talking to myself, recording a video that 183 people are going to watch. It's a weird dynamic going on here already, but let's get into the meat of the video.
So, for example, or when to take a fight. Not really when to peek, but when to take a fight. So if you have to read the situation. Let's say you're an A anchor, so you're going to be playing in CT, maybe like a back triple, or here, just some place where you can easily fall back and play retake. So you have to read the situation well, and very fast. So if they come out and they're shooting pistols at you, then you need to understand that, hey, maybe you could take the fight. Maybe.
Okay. So far, it's been another minute. I haven't really said anything. I like where I'm going with it. I'm just doing a really bad job at explaining.
Maybe you could take a couple more aim duels than you normally would, because they're obviously on an eco. If they come out with smokes, you know that they're probably not on an eco round, and if they are, you can easily retake it. So you might as well just fall back, give it to them. Let's say you're smoked off CT, and
That's
so
true.
You just give.
So yeah, if they're on eco, if they're on pistol, depending on where you're located, right, you have the option of, am I gonna get 3 and die here and call it a day, or am I gonna fall off? Have my teammates rotate in, probably don't get as many kills, but I save my gun, I get to build the econ, right? So there's things like that. What I don't mention, and I didn't know at this time, is that when you think about it, right, you're not gonna just have people with pistols walk out on the site, right? If they have pistols, they're probably gonna do some pop, some palace pop, some quick right side A smoke thing, right? It's gonna be fast, and there's gonna be flashes, so you're not gonna really have the time to then reposition yourself or think about these kind of things when it happens. What you have to do is beforehand actually think about, are they going to be on a buy here? Are they going to be on pistols? Do I not know? Should I be, just in case, should I be careful for the pistol? Should I be prepared? So it's a before round type of thing where you're thinking about what are they going to be on, and then you can position yourself accordingly.
Give them sight, and you don't take the fight. There's no reason for you to try to push through their smoke, put yourself at a disadvantage, and push into sight.
Yeah, don't suicide, by the way. Don't, if they smoke you off CT, don't just run through it. I guess that's a good tip. Thanks, 2018 Liam.
Now remember, as the CT, holding a sight, even though they have the peeker's advantage, you have the location advantage. They don't know where where you are on the map, they can assume where you're going to be, but if you play like an off angle or something, they have no idea.
Absolutely rock solid information. Everybody wants to talk about peeker's advantage as a T. You know, if you're swinging the angle, you can catch him off guard because you know when you're swinging the angle. The CT does not know when you're swinging an angle. So while that is true, just raw, yes, that is somewhat true. Let's jump in game here and actually talk that through. So yes, while as a T-side player, you can just swing out whenever, and the guy right here is just sitting, has no idea. You swing out, and then he has to react. You don't have to react because, you're swinging out. That, one, assumes that you know where they are as a T, and two, assumes that you're not using any sort of like utility. So as a CT, even though you don't know when they're going to swing out, you can get a pretty good idea based off of the utility that's thrown. So if a flash comes over, you can kind of assume that a guy's going to peek with that. So you can either hide or you can get more ready, more prepared to take that fight. If smokes come over, you know you have about 3 to 4 seconds to really position in a good spot, maybe get a piece of utility out to counter the execute that's coming out, right? And then they're going to be peeking, so you have somewhat of a good idea. If they do just a straight contact play where they just walk out and there's no utility thrown, you also know that's probably just one guy. It's very unlikely that all 5, 4, 3 players even are going to be coming out of a bottleneck area, a different, spot for them to come through, a canal, a tunnel, whatever the hell you want to call it, where nobody's throwing anything. Usually, you know how hard it is to get everybody to do a contact play? And even then, it's even harder to trade because when you're doing a contact play, your first guy, he's clearing stuff, he's coming out, and then he's going, right? On an actual execute, like, the guy's just jumping out here, and then, they have mollies down, blah, blah, blah. So as a CT, you do have the advantage of you can kind of tell when things are going to happen. You can read the situation. Also, what I touched on in the video in 2018 was as the CT, you get to pick whatever spot you want to play. The Ts, at least for A, you can either come out here or you can come out here, and if you get really jiggy with it, you can come out connector. But for the sake of this, let's just say you're going ramp and you're going palace. The CTs only have to worry about 2 different angles, and mostly just one. You can smoke off palace. Who cares about palace, right? So you just have to worry about one angle, and the CTs have a plethora of different spots that they can play. You can get opt from up here or something, right? You can do anything as a CT, so even though the Ts are the ones who are swinging out and they have technical peeker's advantage of they know when they're going to peek the angle, you don't know when you're going to peek the angle, right? The CTs still eke away with the advantage of utility, being able to get a read on the situation, and being able to pick whatever position they want to play.
Where you could be, and they're the ones that have to clear everything. So their aim is going everywhere, and there's only 2 places for them to come out of for you.
Hey, it's almost like I just said that. This guy's stealing my lines.
And you're only really holding one of them. So it shouldn't be that challenging. You do have the advantage, and you want to hold on to that. So let's say you get smoked off CT, and let's say you have to know scenarios. If all 5 of them are still up and you guys didn't get any kills, you have to wait for your team to rotate over before you do go back into that site. If there's like 2 up and you know the bomb's not down yet and they're going for the plant, you can get a little bit more like aggressive and like try to deny the plant.
Honestly, while that is true, you do want to play retake most times when you're playing a ramp or ticket. For that whole aggro thing, you don't want to. If you're gonna go aggro, you can't do a really obvious play. So let's jump in game. So if it's a 2v2 like I was saying, right, and I get smoked off CT, and they get bomb plant, yes, you can go for this play, assuming that they have a bad CT smoke like this, right? But it's really expected for somebody to jump up here. They could have faked it. They could be trying to catch you off guard. They're looking for you to do this, right? They're looking for you to make this mistake. So if you're smoked off CT and you want to go for that aggro play, one, you could just go for a spam, right, and hope that you actually know where the hell to spam. And, if you get the kill, that's great. If you don't get the kill, no harm done, right? You haven't died. You haven't made a really risky play. You're just spamming. The only thing that you're doing is giving away your position, but since you're smoked off, it seems like they already know that you're there. If you really wanted to get cheeky with it, right, you could walk through the smoke like this, kind of phase it, come out in an angle that they're not going to be holding. If the CT smokes down here, you're holding this, right? So you come out right there where they're not really looking. So there's a lot of different things that you can do with it. And I know this isn't like the purpose of the video that I made, but just I wanted to clarify.
So it really comes down to the numbers game. If they're like coming out mid, if they're running up and they're running up cat, you have to take, like if you're playing connector, you have to take a more passive angle. You can't just take the fight always. You have to let them walk into your crosshairs. And this is, at least for me, challenging because I always play a bit more aggressive. I want to get the kill immediately. Right when I know where the guy is, I want to put him down immediately. But sometimes you just have to wait for them to walk into your crosshair.
Yeah, all right, that's a key point. A lot of lower level players, as soon as they get the information of where somebody is, they're like, I have to kill him right now. This is my life goal. I know exactly where he is. I'm gonna kill him. And that's not what you need to do, right? Sometimes it's great just to have the information and then try to work around that instead of going, oh, he's top mid, I'll get him right now. No, if he's top mid, okay, where are they probably going? Where are they probably not going? So where can he push through, come up behind? There's a lot of safer ways to go about things than just taking the fight. Also, to disagree with myself in this video, it's not always the numbers game. Sometimes you need to get aggressive even if you have numbers advantage, right? If your teammates are low, if you don't have a lot of utility, depending on, do you guys need a big play? Have you guys lost this 4 versus 3 4 times in a row? Like, so there's other things that can go into it, other variables that I don't mention here, and I just, wanted to note them.
Now I'm just going to go over the site anchor positions just because the mid dynamic is a bit challenging to describe in a video. But so let's say you're a B anchor and you're jump spotting, and you can, as long as you're at a high enough res like I am, you can tell like what gun they have when they're peeking. If you're jump spotting a little bit higher than a normal jump spot. So you can see if they have like a pistol in their hand or there's an op crouched or something, and that really will determine your re-peek. So if they have a pistol out, I'll probably throw a molly because they're probably going to run through it, but you can do a little bit of damage. They're not just going to sit back and wait for it. So I throw a molly up there and wait for them to come out into my crosshair. There's no reason to hold here because they're going to be looking for you. But by the time they come out the door and they don't see you, like there or there or there, they are now going to be worried about cat as they're coming out, and that's when you can get the easy frags because they're not going to be like checking this angle when they're jumping out.
Okay, so couple things. One, as per very usual fashion back in 2018, I would start making a video about something, and it would slowly digress into something else by the end of the video. Now I'm talking about how to anchor a site. This is not really about knowing when to peek. This is just how to play B anchor. But there is some good information here. One thing that I don't touch on in the video is that when you're playing B, right, the really cool thing about playing B is that for them to get out of apps and come onto site, they have to make some sort of noise. There's no silent way to drop out of apps, right? So they have to make some sort of noise. So you could be right here. I wouldn't really recommend this angle, but hypothetically, you could be right here holding cat. You don't even have to hold apps, and you know that nobody's out until they make a drop sound. Now, the thing is, they can drop, and they can be right up in your grill really fast, right? If they do something like this, right, they're right there, so I wouldn't really recommend that. But what you can do is you can play right here, and you can still hear the sound cues of them coming out. You don't necessarily need to hold an angle like this. You're just asking to get entered. And now about the whole, playing an off angle or playing a not on angle, right? It's a really good idea when anchoring B. Again, not what the video was supposed to be about, but if you're coming out B, right, you're trying to clear everything. You need that first pick to really come out B and make it, have a successful site take. And if the CTs aren't giving you the fight and you have no idea where they can be, you're forced to jump out. And as soon as you jump out, you're exposed to hundreds of angles. Or not really hundreds, but way too many angles to clear all at once. And, the CT can just be playing right here. They could be playing jail. Lots of different angles that you can't spot unless you actually jump out of apps. So if you're going to anchor B, you don't really have to, hold down apps. You just have to let your cat player know, hey, they can be walking up apps right now. So don't have your back turned to it, right? I have no information there. So it's about communicating with your teammates, blah, blah, blah. And for the rest of the video, I kind of just talk about how to site anchor. So what I want to say about this video is, yes, there is some key information in there, but from watching this, I should probably start remaking some of my older videos because I don't talk about knowing when to peek, right? I briefly maybe a little bit do, but this isn't really the main meat part of knowing when to peek. Knowing when to peek it comes down to if your teammates are in a fight. Do you need to take the fight? What HP is around? Do you know where the guy is? Do you have utility supporting you? There's so many different variables to know when you should peek that an 8-minute and 45-second video cannot cover. And even if I had an hour, it looks like I wouldn't really be covering it. So, hey, maybe this is a future video idea. I don't know. Hope you guys enjoyed this kind of video. It was a little bit informal, not really. I mean, there was some Counter-Strike tips mixed in there, but I don't know. More of a commentary video, I guess, on my own video. I don't know. I enjoyed making this. I probably won't make another one of these, but thank you all for watching. I hope you had a good day, and I'll see you guys next time.